crazy, crazy reframe. It's like, bro, it's a joke. It's a joke. Like, seriously, it's a joke. Anyway, as part of the deferred agreement reached in October, Fuentes had signed on to do 75 hours of community service, complete an anger management training, apologize in court, and pay her $600 for her phone. Are you kidding? How insane is that, by the way? We'll get into that in a minute. While Rose was paid for her phone, she said she lost count of the extensions he was given by judges throughout the case, just to ultimately have no proof that he completed the community service or anger management class. She was also disappointed after being handed an apology letter from Fuentes, which she said likely was written by AI. Rose added she would not have agreed to the deal if she'd known he wouldn't have to apologize in person. I thought Jews were supposed to be good at the law, you know. I thought that was your thing. Guess not. A motion filed by an attorney working on Rose's behalf last week argued that Fuentes failed to complete the community service in time, and yet he was seen partying in other states earlier this year. She said there was some small hope I had that in doing service for others, he might become a more compassionate person. Hey, listen, you fucking bitch. I'm a very compassionate person if you actually got to know me. She says, to see the news, this is the best part. This is my favorite part. She says, to see the news of him flying off to Miami to dance with the Manosphere Bros to a song about annihilating Jewish people, it's hard to put into words other than to say it reminds me of my disappointment with the Cook County criminal justice system. Yeah. Tell it to the judge. She goes, I'm waiting for my resolution to this case, and he's out there dancing to a song with Andrew Tate and Clavicular about annihilating the Jewish people. This is outrageous. Yeah. Tell it to the judge, sweetheart. That's a shame, isn't it? Yeah, and that's who I am, and you are nothing. That's right. And I'm international. You're fucking local. Yeah, and you will see me partying in Miami. You will see me partying in LA. You will see me partying in New York. You will see me partying in Rome, in Naples. Because I'm national, you're fucking local. You understand the difference? She goes, he's out there. I love how she says it. She says it's a song about annihilating Jewish people. Like, dude, the script writers went off with this one. W script writers for this. So anyway, so this is the story. We love to see it. Yeah, so the case was dismissed. The only thing I have to say about it is it genuinely, here's the outrage. Oh, you know what? Actually, there's one other part here. She says, what I want ultimately is for his groypers and hundreds of thousands of followers to know there are consequences to actions. I don't want them to think you cannot be held accountable.
Consequences to your actions? That's pretty comedy considering the fact that she went up to this guy's door. Like Nick said, there's a lot of people that's trying to kill him. People are showing up after election. People are showing up every single day, and it was very bad. I'm actually kind of surprised that he still lives in that place in Chicago that he hasn't moved. If I'm Nick, I'm out of there, bro. If I'm Nick, you're not going to have any hints of where I'm living. The funniest part about this whole thing is that she did mention that the club would cost. When they were dancing to that H8 song in Miami, which everybody just lost their mind. It was just crazy night. It was everywhere, and you could tell that she was just seething about that night. She must have been pissed off.
What level of delusion are we on? Let's just talk about what happened. So I go on Twitter and say, your body, my choice. People post my address and everybody starts saying, we're going to blow up your house. We're going to kill you. We're going to beat the fuck out of you at your house. And then people start showing up, threatening to do exactly that, including her. She was maybe the 200th person to show up to my house, and I'm not even exaggerating. That weekend after the election, it was literally in the hundreds of people driving by, walking to the door, walking through the gangway, going through my backyard. Hundreds of people. I didn't even talk about it back then because it was really hot at the time. But she was maybe the 200th person to show up. She pulls up, filming the house. She's standing outside the house like an idiot, filming, screaming, saying, this is where this incel lives. He's a Nazi, blah, blah, blah. And her intention is to post it on Facebook, basically to say, this is where he lives, get him. She comes up to the front door, and yes, I physically removed her from the porch. And if you actually see the video, I hit her with the pepper spray. It had no effect. The pepper spray was maybe a couple years old. My parents gave it to me a long time ago, and so I just had it on hand. I hit her with the pepper spray, and I notice it had zero impact. Like, it's not effective at all. The attack was not effective at all. She just absorbs it completely. She's just like, oh, like, what is that? So I panic, and I'm like, well, this is going to be really awkward. It's like if I just spray you in the face with this non-effective substance, well, now this is just really uncomfortable. So I kind of just had to take her and just get rid of her, you know, like, okay, bye. And I grabbed the phone because she's using the phone in basically in furtherance of a crime. She's trying to film inside my house. She's trying to dox me. So I take the phone, call the cops. Cops come. And by the way, the police come, and this is my favorite thing of all time. They come up to me and they go, hey man, we just want your side of the story. I said, I'm not saying anything. I said, I called my attorney before the cops even came. I said, what do I say? They said, don't tell them anything. I said, look, I'm in fear for my life. I don't feel safe. And I'm not saying anything else. They're like, we just want to get your side of the story and blah, blah, blah. Never trust police. Police are out to get you. But the cops come. Weeks later, I get charged with battery. They offer me this agreement. And the agreement is, if you want to avoid a trial, you need 75 hours of community service, anger management. You have to apologize, and you got to pay for the broken phone. $635. She came to my house looking for a problem. By the way, in a situation where hundreds of people are coming to my house, hundreds of people are banging on the door, threatening to kill me. There's viral TikToks saying, let's burn his house down. She's totally aware of all this, comes to the front door looking for trouble. And you saw the video. I could have kicked her in the face. I pushed her to the floor. If I were some kind of psychomaniac, I could have punched her in the face. I could have kicked her stupid head. I could have shot her for all she knows with everything that was going on. And I came out and I said, look, you're lucky that's the worst thing that happened to you. I said, you came here looking for a problem. You're lucky the worst thing that happened is you fell on your ass.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse for her. If Nick was crazy, he could have American History X'd her, curb stomped her, kicked her in the head, but no.
Hi. Oh my God! What are you doing?
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
That's pretty funny. So he just says, "Get the f out of here." Yeah, it looks like he saw a threat and he diffused the situation. He got rid of the threat and went about his business.
Especially in this day and age, and by the way, you don't even know. You don't know if somebody's unpredictable, if somebody's erratic. I said, you're lucky that I had such a soft touch. I solved the problem. I pushed you down. I took the phone. I called the cops. Okay, you bruised your ass a little bit. So what? But then the county is going to say, now you got to do community service, anger management, pay for the... It's a little bit excessive, don't you think? I understand that if this was an altercation in a restaurant, in a movie theater, in the street, on the sidewalk, if this happened at her house or somewhere else in public, okay, maybe. She's coming to my house. I get indicted for this. And so, like I said, this went on for like a year and a half. I'm in court every month, getting these continuances, trying to figure out how we're going to, what we're going to do here with this deal. Finally, they dropped the charges. And now she's looking for the payday. Now she's talking about she wants to bring me to civil court. And she's saying, people are going to put up money to... And by the way, she's a Jew. And it just so happens she's a Jew. She's a Jewish, left-wing, feminist, vegan, blah, blah. Now she's looking for a payday. She goes on Facebook after the attack. She says, I got 6 broken ribs. 6 broken ribs. Quite the miraculous recovery. Because if you watched in the video, she falls to the ground and then gets up on her knees and she's like, did you get that? Did you get that on the video? Did you get that? She says. Then stands up unassisted. The body cam footage from about 20, 30 minutes later, they go, are you doing okay? Do you need the ambulance to check you out? She goes, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. They didn't even believe that she got pepper sprayed because it had no effect. Then she comes up with this story a week later, this fucking ambulance chaser, and says, I got 6 broken ribs and I got pepper sprayed. And now she wants to take me to small claims court. So this is Marla Rose. She's in the same neighborhood as me. Marla Rose thinks it's okay for people to show up to somebody's house. She thinks that's a way to hold somebody accountable. She says she wants all my followers to know that if you don't like what somebody is saying, you can show up to their front door looking for a problem. And she said that in the article. She said, quote, what I want is for all of his groypers and his hundreds of thousands of followers to know there are consequences to actions. I don't want them to think you can't be held accountable. Well, you heard her. She believes that if you say something on the internet that somebody doesn't like, that people are perfectly entitled to go to your house looking for a problem. Well, that's good to know. I don't agree with that, actually. I don't think people should do that. I don't think anybody should show up to somebody's house looking for a problem, especially not for something exercising their free speech on the internet about politics. You don't like a post? Unfollow. You don't like a joke? Mute the account, log off. She, on the other hand, has different values. She thinks that's how you hold somebody accountable and you're within your rights to do it. So that's some very interesting information about her. But anyway, that's the case. That's the story. I beat the case dismissed, charges dropped, and let's just see what happens with her. Let's just see what happens. But I'm just glad that this saga has come to an end. What a ridiculous situation. But this is just how it is now. And a lot of people don't realize that this is just how it is if you express these opinions in the country. I think we all know that on some level, but it really gets to that point. You know, a lot of people say I complain too much or whatever, and maybe I do, but I don't think anybody should feel like they're going to get murdered when they walk outside their house or something. You know, between Charlie Kirk, what happened to me, what's going on with Trump, the White House Correspondents' Dinner. This is why I take this stuff seriously. When we talk about, you know, not to spin it back into regular politics, but when we talk about the Trump movement and what a failure it's become, it's very personal to me. It's personal to everybody that is involved in this, because you realize that this is a war. It really is. It has every aspect of a war, which is to say that we're engaged in this pitched political battle and there's no boundaries. There's no rules. If the left doesn't like what you're saying, they post a picture of your house on the internet and tell people to kill you. And then some people try to. It's like a war zone. And I know, and everybody else that is in this that has skin in the game knows that if we don't win, they're going to kill us. If we don't take it seriously, and if we don't win, if we don't have a reimposition of law and order, if we don't have the police, if we don't have a border, if we don't have that kind of thing going on, if we don't have civil rights protections for our ability to speak freely, protect our ability to speak on the internet, make a living, use AI, use the social platforms, then it's over for us. So that's why we have to get serious. I'm not interested in this politics where we say, we're going to vote for Trump to buy us some more time. We're going to vote for Trump because it's the lesser of two evils. I'm interested in playing to win. If you're not playing to win, this is where it goes. It goes to a very bad place.
Yeah, so I'm really glad that the case did get dismissed, because I was going to set a dangerous precedent for future cases. It's pretty diabolical, the fact that she even said that she wants groypers and for people to have to face consequences is very hypocritical, because she's the one that showed up at his doorstep. So that makes no sense whatsoever. But I'm glad it got dismissed, because if Nick was on the short end of the stick, if they were punishing him, throwing him in jail for this, a lot of people are going to think just because you disagree with somebody that you're able to just go to somebody's house, harassed him, and the situation could be very ugly. So that's a W for Nick right there. Lunatic lady. Watch that video about 100 times. Super funny. It's super funny. Have a sense of humor, guys, okay? Yeah, so very curious to see what you guys think about this situation. What do you think about the video? Was Nick in the right? Or do you think that Nick should have been thrown in jail? I'm curious to hear that opinion, so let me know in the comment section. I'm out of here. Peace.